Hey there everyone, it's Mike Thomas here. You guys know me as Mike from Maine. Today we're going to be taking a look at a video called How to Get Rich Starting from $0. Now I know a lot of you want to make money online and you don't have a lot of money to get started with, so I thought this would be a great video to take a look at today, especially since it's from a guy named Biaheza. He has over 1 million subscribers. He's known for testing out different methods of making money online. He actually makes money online himself, which is nice to see. So let's go ahead here and I'm going to give him a like here on his video. If you guys can go ahead and give me a like on mine too, it really helps out my YouTube channel and it costs you nothing to do. So let's go in here and watch this video.
Look, chances are you probably won't get rich from scratch by investing into Monkey Picture or day trading Forex.
That whole NFT thing, I still don't understand it. The chimp pictures that people are buying and selling. I know people have made a lot of money with it, but that's just something that I have not bought any of them. I still don't understand Forex. I guess like I see how people, it's like trading. It's like stock market trading and just trading currencies. It's really, really risky. Be very, very careful when you're investing in any of these speculative like ways of making money or maybe losing money online.
We can do the Forex. Try the Forex program.
But doesn't mean all hope is lost. I want to talk about a more clear-cut path to wealth that doesn't involve all that much luck. And in the current economy with the potential recession looming over us, I think a lot of opportunities are going to present themselves, so this video may be more relevant than ever.
The whole thing with like the recession, I just want to add that if you remember back in 2008 when the recession hit, it's that time after that the make money online industry, if you look at a lot of the big product launches and the people making money selling that kind of stuff, it was huge because so many people were suffering and they were looking for a way of making money. So stay tuned. You're probably going to see a lot of different programs come out, and be careful of what you invest your money in. If you do decide to do something, just focus on one thing. Don't throw your money at that different shiny object after shiny object. Just focus on one thing and make it work before you try jumping to another thing.
Your money up, not your funny up.
Right, so I try out a lot of quirky, silly money-making schemes on this channel, which oftentimes leads people to ask the question of, okay, I know what doesn't work, what's a scam, I know all of the ways that I can't make money, but what does work? How do you actually ascend out of the gutters? Where do I obtain my ticket to Guapville? Now, things can obviously
I don't know what Guapville is.
vary depending on your situation, but here's exactly what I would do starting from scratch and exactly what my plan was. I started getting serious about personal finance when I turned 16, got my first
16 years old. He's been doing this for so long now. And I mean, he's really super successful, but you can see he's put a lot of time into his business.
real job and started thinking about what am I going to do after high school. I started reading a lot of financial books.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of my favorite books. It just teaching you about finance. The Millionaire Next Door, also an amazing book. Read these books, guys. You don't have to read all the personal finance books, but like these ones right here. I haven't, what's that one? Clash of Clans, the ultimate offensive guide. Don't read that one, but read the other two ones. They'll help you out.
Stumbled upon a few Graham Stephan videos, and a lot of that led me to
The blueprint.
From what I've seen, this blueprint and this kind of plan is behind the wealth of a lot of people out there, but it isn't really commonly taught in schools or anything. They don't want you to know how to escape
The Matrix.
No, but there's a people flexing on social media that are in reality broke and dead, living paycheck to paycheck type of rich, which by the way is a lot more common than you may think. Being on the other side of the screen and meeting with some of these people, even some of the business gurus aren't doing as well as they make it out to seem on social.
Yeah, they want to make you think that they're making a lot of money, and then you'll follow them and you'll buy their courses and stuff. So just be careful of what you're actually following.
Social media. Trust me, you're not behind. But then there's the random people that you'd see on the street and never think that they have an abundance of cheese, but really they're living worry-free, financially independent lives type of rich.
Those are, like, for me personally, that's always been the kind of rich that I've wanted to be. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go out there and buy a flashy car and like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something. I'd prefer driving around in a very basic vehicle, living in a normal house, and having a ton of money in the bank, knowing that if I ever did need to, like if my business crashed and nothing worked anymore, that I would still have money in the bank to live. Like that for me is much more important than being flashy and having flashy watches and stuff. I've got an iWatch. Yeah, sure, I have an iWatch, but it's the SE. It's not the expensive one, and I can afford it, but I just don't want to spend my money on it.
And that's what I want to cover here, the not so flashy, more concrete, solid path to wealth. For me, when I was starting from scratch working my retail job, I kind of saw it as path A and a path B that veers away from path A. But the first step is going to be your path A. This is what's going to get you to a place of financial independence by just being disciplined and making a few smart decisions. How are most millionaires made? Real estate. Over the last 20
Real estate, over and over and over again, people talk about real estate, owning property. It just makes sense. People need places to live. You own a place, sure, it goes up in value, it goes down in value, that happens, but you're still going to have that asset that people are going to be paying you monthly for to live in, and it's just an amazing way of generating wealth.
Years, around 90% of the world's millionaires have been created by investing into real estate, and I don't think that's really going to change or go out of style since people will always need a place to live. I don't want to get too deep, but here's the simple real estate strategy that I was planning on following towards the end of my path A.
Gentlemen, so check it out.
You buy a home under market value that's kind of beat up. And use a loan to buy the home. You don't actually have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars saved up. You remodel the home to make it look a little nicer. Find some tenants to rent the home out to who are going to be paying your loan. Then have your home officially appraised for a higher amount since now you remodeled it. It's worth more. And this higher appraisal will allow you to refinance the home and pull money back out of the home that you can use to invest into more of these type of properties. Rinse and repeat until you have a rental portfolio that you can live off of, and even 1031 exchange some of these smaller properties into bigger ones and scale your portfolio.
It sounds all really nice, but before you jump into something like this, just make sure you really understand real estate, because you can go in there and you can buy a property thinking that it's going to make you a lot of money. Then you find out that you have to do a bunch of repairs on it. You didn't understand certain tax obligations that you have. Just be careful. It always sounds really nice, real estate. And you always hear about these conventions that people go to and they're sold into these different programs, but just be careful about what you invest your money in.
This is often referred to as the BRRRR strategy: buy, rehab, refinance, repeat. BRRRR. It can get risky, but when you're young, that could definitely be a risk worth taking. So now that we know this way of building wealth, what's standing in between you and buying your first property? Probably not having enough money for the down payment and the remodel. So going back to my plan A, I was gonna work a minimum wage job and live with my parents, live very frugally to have enough money to start this real estate journey. I was thinking if I could save $1,000 a month from age 16 to age 20, I should have around 50 grand. Simultaneously, I would be going to college to get a degree in something that would actually lead to me getting a much better paying job. This can also be achieved through...
Not a lot of 16-year-old kids think this way, though. Like, I remember when I was 16, I was working at Burger King and just using my money to go out with my friends and stuff. I didn't ever think about investing. I wish I had.
Through trade school, some sort of certification program, maybe even a performance-based job like sales, just something that would lead to you making more money at a job. I know a lot of people in this business, hustle, finance space are really against college.
All right, you want to know the secret to getting a Ferrari or a Lamborghini like this? Drop out of college.
And I can agree with that when it comes to a liberal arts or art history.
Oof. I have a degree in English literature and Spanish language. And, you know, did I waste my money on going to college? No, I still don't think I wasted money. I'm really happy that I was able to go, that I had the privilege to be able to go to school. I made a lot of friends. I learned a lot of stuff. I've used that knowledge that I got from my degree as far as writing goes, as far as communication goes in my business. So I still think that, sure, it was expensive and I could have perhaps learned everything that I did from a library and hanging out with people, but I don't have any regrets about it.
Degree. But the key to my path A was that I was on track to enter the medical field and become a nurse, which in California can earn you a 6-figure salary.
Actually, I'm just kidding.
And look, I don't think you should choose a career strictly for how much you're going to make, but
I think it's pretty important to choose your career based upon if you have you want to be making a certain amount of money, you have expectations, then you don't want to be a teacher. I was thinking about being a teacher when I was younger, and I thought, oh, money's not important. I don't need money. But then you get in the real world and you understand how important it actually is.
I do think this movement of you have to follow your passion, you have to love your job is kind of false. My personal belief is that you can be happy doing any job as long as it's not something that you don't absolutely hate. And even then, I think almost any job can become bearable depending on the people that are working with you. I just think you can find meaning and fulfillment outside outside of your work in other areas of your life. So again, my goal was to work that minimum wage job and not spend my money on stupid things. Maybe along
Love how he shows stupid things in the chimp NFTs. That's great.
the way find a better, higher paying entry-level job. But by the time I would get to graduating college, I would have close to what I'd need to put a down payment on my first rental property. And then I'd hopefully have this job in the medical field that I could use to make more money quicker and invest into more real estate. Continue doing the BRRRR strategy and eventually get to
I wonder if he still does his own editing. I mean, I know he did it for a long, long time. I wonder if he's got a guy that does it for him because he does a good job.
a point where I could live off this rental income, or at least use it to supplement my actual income to only have to work like once or twice a week.
The 4-Hour Work Week. Excellent book. If you haven't read it, read it. It's changed my life for sure. Just the idea of being able to earn, like make money online and travel and live in a place that is less expensive. It's definitely changed my life.
Week and spend the rest of my time with friends, family, doing whatever I'd want. I know the initial part of this plan doesn't sound exciting. It's a grind. You have to make sacrifices. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. You can't expect to do what everyone else is doing, but have a different result, right? I personally think that's an interesting journey and path, and I was enjoying my beginning stages of that. However, if that sounds extremely awful to you, there is a path B that veers off from path A. Part of my plan to make enough money for my first rental property quicker was to hustle on the side to supplement my regular job income. That's where path B comes into play. It's true that you're not going to get incredibly wealthy by working a job, by working for someone else. So I was doing things on the side where I was in a way working for myself. I started with some hustles in real life, like flipping things, and then eventually found ways to make money online. But again, that was all while going to school and working a job.
Which I think is really important. You have your job and then you have little side hustles. And if you can turn that side hustle into something that's making more than your job, then you can quit your job. But I think you still need to do your job until you find something that's actually making you enough money to be able to live off of.
I'm a huge proponent of not blindly quitting everything you're doing to pursue something you're interested in. Going to college and starting a business is not an either or question, right? I think a lot of people convince themselves that it is that way, partly because they don't want to put in the work. It's tough to both go to school or work and try to start something up on the side. But is it impossible? Absolutely not.
It's entirely possible.
You know it's possible. I've personally done it, and so many others managed to do the same exact thing. Okay, if you don't think you have enough time, I challenge you to look at your average screen time on your phone. So you want to start something on the side of path A, something that will bring in additional income, and eventually maybe this could even be your main thing. Once you see that what you started on the side is making you more money than what you would at the job you'd get after graduating or at the job that you're working at, it may be time to fully focus in on the side thing. And now that side piece can be your vehicle to making enough money to invest into real estate, or at that point just reinvest into the business to scale that. That's exactly how it played out for me. I was working different jobs to save up for a property while going to school to become a nurse. On the side, I was experimenting with a couple different things and eventually had some success with dropshipping. Did both for a while, but eventually got to a point where I was making that nursing salary in a month from the profits of my business, so it just didn't make sense to continue that path A.
Just so you guys know, he's made a lot of money with drop shipping, like e-com. It's one of the things that he does. And you see this a lot with YouTubers, people having success with e-com. And normally they make a course about it, which is fine. If you're doing something successfully and you want to teach people how to do it, I have no problem with that. But that's one of his businesses, is just so you guys know, drop shipping.
I switched my focus to path B, which got me to my goal of building up a real estate portfolio quicker, and I ended up buying my first property at 18. And since then have continued
18, he had his first property. He's going to be so rich when he's older.
Investing into more real estate and diversifying into other forms of investments. But see, even if I didn't end up having success with e-commerce, I could have stuck to path A and still have been in a good position. If you're interested in dropshipping, I have my full course for that linked in the description below, but someone else's path B could have been starting a lawn care business. Maybe it's starting a social...
I like how he has that subtle, like, if you want to go check out my course, go do it. It was good though. It's not too pushy. If you want to check it out, go check it out. It's not like go do this right now. He's not like talking about it the whole time. I like that.
Media marketing agency, a power washing business, becoming a TikTok superstar, doing YouTube. E-commerce is what worked for me. The overall path to getting rich from scratch is to get to a point where you have money to invest into assets rather than liabilities. And those assets is what's really gonna make you rich. Grind it out, make some money how you can, and then make that money work for you rather than blowing it. And it's not like this is the only or right way to live your life. This is just something I would do if my goal was to build wealth. I think this is the video I would want to show my younger self, and it would save me a lot of time from reading books, watching finance videos, and consuming a reckless amount of podcasts.
You get to the point where there's sure, it's great to get an education. It's great to read some of these books. It's great to watch some of these videos and listen to podcasts. But if that's all you do and you don't actually do anything, then it can become a distraction.
And now that we're finished with the video, just going to ask you a quick question on the screen there. Just go ahead and press a button for me.
Oh, I hate those things where the other day we were in New York and I went to a place called Dippin' Dots, which is like this little ice cream, like little ball ice cream. It's really good actually. But like I ordered and then this thing came up on the screen. It's like 15, 20, 25% tip. Why am I tipping the Dippin' Dots guy? Really? Why am I tipping him? Like he put the ice cream in the cup. It's not like he was like a waiter who's coming in and filling up my drinks. And I don't know. I'm fine with tipping. I was a waiter myself. I am happy to tip someone that's giving me good service, but not everything deserves a tip. Anyways, that's my little tangent.
There, yup. Thank you.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video here today, and let me know below if you have any comments about this. How you think about getting rich, starting from zero, ways maybe that you've made money online. I'm always interested in hearing about that from you guys. If you have any videos you want me to check out, go ahead and let me know below as well. And of course, please go ahead and like this video. It really helps out my YouTube channel, and I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button and bell notification. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Thanks.